Okay. Hi guys, sorry about that, just some technical issues again. Good afternoon everyone, and thank you for joining us here at UKEC. At our live stream, we're going to be talking about ACCA and also the BPP courses. My name is Jessie, and I am the International Student Advisor here. And today we have with us Daryl. Daryl is the International Admission Manager from BPP University.
Thank you very much, Jessie, for having me. I'm really happy to be here, and hopefully we can share a little bit more about studying at BPP and specifically accountancy.
That's great. And we will also be discussing about the courses that BPP offers, the entry requirements, and also the second masters. Also, don't forget that because this is a live stream, so you feel free to interact with us anytime, ask us any questions, or if there's any technical issues, please do let us know. I think your comment box should be on the right or down below the right here. Yeah? Okay, sorry. Or down below if you're watching it on our phone. We will be taking your questions at the end, so that's when we'll be answering your answers. So, I shall let Daryl do the honor and tell us how is it like studying in BPP University.
Brilliant. Thank you very much, Jessie. So, becoming an ACCA and accountant, I mean, that's what we're here for today. I'm going to talk to you about our accounting courses here at BPP University. But really to give you a little bit of a flavor about what BPP University is all about. So we are the University for Professions. That's what we're known about here in the UK. We're actually part of a wider group called BPP Professional Education Group. It's one of the UK's largest, Europe's largest specialist providers in accountancy and financial services. So you might be wondering, what does BPP stand for? A lot of people ask us that question. So it stands for our three founders, Mr. Burley, Mr. Pryor, and Mr. Price. They set up the company, professional education company, back in 1976.
1976.
Yep, 4 years ago. And it was originally set out as a specialist accountancy provider. So we have 40 years of specialist accounting teaching background. You also might be wondering, BPP University, it's not on our rankings list. Do they provide actual degrees? Yes, they do. We have the UK degree awarding powers, and we've got a highly trusted status by the UK Privy Council. So you can check that out on our website. So basically, if you're an international student, you can come study with us and you'll have your international visa. So we can sponsor you to study with us. And here are our four schools. BPP University School of Business and Technology, our law school, School of Nursing, and our School of Health. Now, the School of Nursing is a relatively new school. School of Health has been around a while, but our two major big schools are the School of Business and Technology and our law school. So today we'll be going into more about the School of Business and Technology.
Yeah.
Here are a few statistics. We've got over 11,000 students, over 16,000 alumni, and rising, rapidly rising.
So it's a big network then?
Sorry, say that
again? It's a big network?
Yes, it is a big network. I mean, that's just 16,000 from our university. In terms of our professional education group, we've got over 100,000 alumni because students have been studying accountancies forever, haven't they? And we've been around since 1976. So very internationally focused. As you can see there, we've got a lot of partnerships with international businesses, big global corporations. So this is what makes BPP. And here are where we are, because usually you'd be thinking of a specific city in the UK. Where is that university? And you usually can tell what university.
Yeah, I can see you guys are spread out everywhere.
We're all over the place. We're all over England. So you can see there, our major destinations will be London, Manchester, and Birmingham. That's where our accountancy courses are taught. But you can see there's a lot of different other major universities, campuses in the UK.
So does all the campus also offer ACCA courses as well?
So ACCA is only taught for the university. If you're coming to study accountancy at the university, it's taught in London, Shepherd's Bush, Manchester, and Birmingham. So these are the three biggest cities in the UK, and our campuses are very central as
Yay,
part of the city.
Manchester.
And here we are in Manchester today. All right, so I'll talk to a little bit about our School of Business and Technology. We used to be just School of Business. We've added the technology part to it fairly recently within this year. The reason for that is because a lot of employers are coming back to us and saying, we want graduates to be ready in all aspects of the work environment when they arrive. So what do you need when you come in as an accountant? You need to have data analytical skills, digital technology, digital leadership. These are the kind of subjects that are not taught to graduates before they enter the workforce. It's things that you have to learn on the go as you enter the workforce. Employers want that to be ready from day one.
Yeah,
so
especially
that's
the digital aspects, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. So they wanted students to be ready to be able to handle the data, handle clients from very beginning. So we've changed our courses around to incorporate a lot more technology and digital leadership into our courses. So here are our accounting courses. We've got a relatively small and solid portfolio of courses, and there's a reason for that. We want to focus specifically on ACCA. That is the biggest accountancy educational body in the world, most popular, most highly accredited. So it's no-brainer for us to be closely aligned with ACCA. So if you're looking to come to study undergraduate, we've got a 3-year undergraduate course in accounting and finance, BSc Accounting and Finance. You could also do it in as little as 2 years if you wished. That basically means you lose your summer holiday and you compress your course into 2 years, but it's effectively the same course that you'd be doing in a normal 3-year undergraduate degree.
I mean, depends on how you view your summer holiday, isn't it?
Yeah.
Maybe at summer holidays, some people back home in other countries, they do like extra tuition during the summer holidays, but you're doing accountancy during your summer holidays, so that's even better.
Yeah, also, and we talk about cost and value. In terms of living costs, you'd have a reduced living cost because you only have to study and you only have to pay 2 years living accommodation. And on top of that, if you were starting the accelerated course at the same time as one of your peers doing the 3-year course, you finish a year earlier, which means you start earning money a year earlier, and it means everything goes on.
Earning money a year earlier
That's
than
exactly
everyone
what
else.
it is. I mean, you get a degree so that you can move on upper in life.
Does this? Sorry.
Go ahead.
Some of us were just wondering. So with the MSc courses, does it include placement or internship as well?
Yeah, we do. So the MSc Accounting and Finance, we do have a placement, and we also have the MSc Management and with Finance, MSc Management and Project Management, and International MBA. So those are 12-month courses. We can increase that to 18 months, and that gives a student an opportunity for work placement. So our careers team handle all of that. I'll come back a little bit later on in our slides with more detail on that.
Interrupting my guests.
So not at all. I mean, these are questions that students want to know. So the 3 that I've highlighted there on our screen there are the ACCA courses. I didn't mention our BSc actually is integrated with ACCA. You would get 9 exemptions from the BSc. So it's a different entry route, different pathway to becoming a chartered accountant. However, the main course that we focus on is the MSc Accounting and Finance Advanced Diploma route. And that is basically all of ACCA in a nutshell. A 30-month course, you start it from scratch. You've never done ACCA in your life, you start it from scratch, and you finish in 30 months with exam qualified, 13 papers exam qualified. There are other options which I'll go through shortly. So why would a student want to study ACCA?
Yes, what is the benefit?
That's the key question. As I mentioned, ACCA, there's lots of different accountancy bodies in the world. ACCA is the most popular and is the biggest accountancy body in the world. So question, do I want to become a chartered accountant? Should I go into management, or should I go into management consultancy? Or I want to work as a trader in a bank, equities or bond trading. You can do all that by studying ACCA. So a student might be wondering, hold on, ACCA means accountancy, means I have to become an accountant, maybe you have to become an auditor, but that's not true. It goes on. You've got so many different types of areas of work that you can go into that students would never necessarily think of.
Actually, I read up a fun fact, actually, guys. Do you know that you don't just always have to be an auditor or work with numbers all the time? Do you know that the FBI's actually employ about I think, over thousands of accountants, and that's how they managed to catch the old gangster Al Capone.
Yeah,
Al Capone, actually, by one of the accountants finding out about his tax evasion. So you can actually, go into the police force and be behind FBI, not just sitting in the bank and be boring. I'm not saying that the bankers are boring, but yeah, come on.
But they have fun weekends and fun holidays back
True.
I
heard that. The headquarters in Barclays, by the way, they have a tennis court there. So
yeah, it's
impressive.
quite fun. It's definitely a good benefit to go into accountancy. Your lifestyle will be definitely different. So why would you study ACCA BPP specifically? I mean, that's what everybody's asking. I mean, you can see there on the screen, we're being endorsed directly by ACCA. Alan Hatfield, the executive director of ACCA, a clear endorsement of our MSc Accounting and Finance being specifically integrated with ACCA. So you might be wondering where we are. So I've talked about being in our campuses. These are further reasons why you should study with us. Employment's focus on programs designed to align with professional bodies. So not only are you aligned with ACCA, but also CIMA, ICAW, ICAS, and AIA. Those are the big education bodies for accountancy. So we are also taught by experienced practitioners. So that's a very important thing at BPP. We talk about university professions, but we also talk about professionals teaching professionals, because students are going to be professionals in the future. So our tutors are hired from their specialist field of work. So you'd be assured that you're being taught by an accountant who's going to bring in their work-life experience into the classroom.
It's good to study the live cases as well, isn't it?
Exactly, because you don't want to graduate. So a normal traditional route would be you've done your BSc degree in accounting, and then you apply for a job in maybe one of the big four, KPMG, EY. If you're lucky enough, you get in a graduate scheme. And then whilst you're working, you have to study ACCA or ICAW part-time. So that's the employer's going to pay for you. That might be a benefit for you. But it also means you're starting later. It's a lot harder because you're having to work at the same time. So we're saying, why don't you study your ACCA with us first, get it all out of the way, and then you make yourself hugely employable. You go into a job and the employer already knows that you're fully exam qualified. All you need to do is your 3 years experience, and then you're a chartered accountant. So the big question, is it ACCA, our MSc Accounting and Finance? Daryl keeps talking about MSc Accounting and Finance Advanced Diploma route, but that doesn't say ACCA. In a nutshell, it is ACCA. You're studying all 13 ACCA papers. The first portion of the course is the Advanced Diploma route, and that's where you do F1 to F9, right? So 9 papers. And then you move on to the master's portion, as you would call it. You would do 2 professional papers in your first term and another 2 in your second term. And then in your final term, you do 3 modules: digital leadership, data analytics, and a business research project. So those are the 3 modules that I was talking about earlier, which employers really want students to have. That's the technology aspect in our ACCA course. Another interesting fact about our program is that the first 9 papers our exams are done at BPP. So they're not the traditional route where you'd have to study ACCA and then pay ACCA separately to do the exams. You do them with us, and BPP takes complete care about your exemptions. Now, you don't really have to start from F1 to F9. You don't have to start from scratch. A lot of students are starting directly from scratch because they've woken up one day and thought, okay, accountancy is what for me, I'm going to study this course. But a lot of students have done maybe a BSc in accounting already, and they might have got 3 exemptions, like usually it's F1, F2, F3. So they can join us at that stage. So it reduces, in general, it's 3 papers a term. So if you have 3 exemptions already from ACCA, you would reduce your course by a term, so it'd be 2 years instead of
so there's
2.5 years. So it also it reduces your tuition fees as it goes down.
So
for
you
every
reduce
exemption.
the tuition fees.
Yeah, exactly.
So
yeah.
they reduce the tuition
For
fees.
every exemption that you have, yeah. So quick tip, if you don't know, go on to just type into one of the internet browser ACCA exemptions calculator. Type in your university, your date of graduation, and it'll give you an idea of how many exemptions that you might have.
And save costs.
And save costs, exactly. So flexible entry points, you undertake ACCA professional level exams with us. It's compulsory as part of the master's course. And finally, of course, you can come onto our graduation ceremony for both the advanced diploma and then the master's portion. So you get 2 graduation ceremonies that you want to go to.
So it's like a combined, isn't it?
Yeah, so a combined course, you study all of ACCA and you get a master's degree at the end of it. So 2 in 1, you get a 2-in-1 qualification. So here's a little bit about what I was speaking about, the 3 terms for the advanced diploma portion. The first term you do F1 to F3, and then F4 to F6 in the second term, and then 7, 8, 9 in your third term. Now, here's a question that might be interesting for some students who are already studying ACCA. So you might be overseas, you might be have done your FIA qualification, and you want to go on to come to the UK to study. So they might be thinking, I want to get my Oxford Brookes degree. So because ACCA has a partnership with Oxford Brookes degree. And to get the Oxford Brookes degree, you need to have passed F7, 8, and 9 with ACCA directly. So we accept that. That's fine. You can still come on to our MSc Advanced Diploma in Accounting Finance course. But we just need to tell our program support team not to claim the exemptions from our exams.
Okay.
So you still need to pass our exams, but then you can go on and do the ACCA exams and then claim the Oxford Brookes degree. So some students may end up with an Oxford Brookes degree plus a BPP Masters, but most students will have the Advanced Diploma certificate followed on by the Master's degree certificate.
So just like two in one again.
So yeah, again, it's a 2-in-1 opportunity for students. It just really depends on the personal circumstance. There's a lot of different options for students. So if you've got any queries at all, please come over to UKAC, and I'm sure the team will be happy to support answering your questions.
You can place the comment down below. We'll check it at the end.
Yeah, exactly. So here's a scary looking graph, I would admit.
No, it's very friendly looking. I like the purple and white.
It's very much purple and white. I've just listed the different routes that we've been talking about, really.
Yeah.
So the traditional route is route 1. You do a BSc. You can do it at BPP, 3 or 2 years. Then if you did do it at BPP, you get your F1 to F9 exemptions. And then you go on to the ACCA professional papers. Now that may be done with your employer if you were doing it a traditional route, or self-sponsored if you're coming to us. The second route is doing the same thing, BSc, or the Advanced Diploma in Accounting Finance, and then going on to our 12-month Masters in Accountancy and Finance. So again, 2 separate courses. If you did do that route because you wanted a BSc degree, which I admit a lot of international students, parents, they'll be saying you must have an undergraduate degree. That's very important. It gives you a well-rounded knowledge, academic knowledge, not just ACCA. So some students might do that. And then they come onto the MSc course. So that is 2 different courses. So you could come to the UK on one CAS, on one visa, and then apply again for another CAS, another visa for the MSc portion of your studies. The route that we're most excited about is Route 3.
Okay.
That's the one we've been talking about. The 30-month course, one CAS, one visa, 2-in-1 qualification.
Combined.
All inclusive, yeah. Everything included. So that's the course we're most excited about. That's the ACCA
Are you
course
guys
that we
excited?
teach.
I'm excited. I want to go back to study now.
Please, we'll be happy. We'll be happy. So here's the BSc Accounting and Finance. 6 terms studied over 3 years. That's a standard undergraduate degree. It's also accredited by those professional bodies, ACCA, CIMA, ICAW.
Yeah.
With ACCA, you'll get the full 9 exemptions that I mentioned. With CIMA, ICAW, slightly less exemptions, but you still will get exemptions if you decide to go down those routes. Okay, so here are the campus locations. I thought I'd give you a little bit of a flavor. UKEC, I believe, are in the same building as us.
We're in the same
We're in the same
building. That's the first building.
We share the building. But that's Manchester, St. James's Place. In London, we're in Shepherd's Bush. In Birmingham, we're in Coleman Circus, a very fancy high-tech building there. And the picture below is a general idea of what our Vanta suites look like.
Wow.
So that is where classes take place, but that's also where you do your business research project, and that's where you stand up and present for your 60 credit module. So it's a very important part. It's not a traditional dissertation at BPP. You do a business research project on a particular company, on a particular industry, and then you have to present orally to your classroom.
Do you have to intern in there as well while you do
your
your dissertation?
If you intern, everyone's watching you as if you are in a business meeting. So that's where we're taking the workplace environment into the classroom. You have to be prepared. You don't want to be graduate and have the shock of your life when you come into a business meeting and have to present to a whole load of clients. Employers want you to be able to do that straight away. So of course, students might be getting panicking, I can't just go into my final dissertation and do a business research project. You have mocks. So you can prepare for them. You plenty of mocks throughout the course.
I'm pretty sure BPP has a full support for students as well as research, isn't it?
Yes. On top of the mocks, you've got your pastoral student managers who support students in all sorts of aspects. But most importantly, is the personal tutors. So that's where students have very, very good access to it. And not many universities, like private universities, have that close access. So you can't see us in here, but we've got a glass wall across here where we can see the outside office. That's pretty much the BPP staff room. They're all sat. All the tutors are sat inside. There's a glass wall, and students can just knock on the door and say, "Hi, I'm struggling with this. Can you help me?" If they can't help, they'll help there and then, which the tutors generally do. If they can't, they make an appointment for later on in the afternoon.
I remember at my time at university, it was quite hard to look for our tutors.
Yeah, it was generally, I remember that too. It was generally email and making sure you had an appointment, maybe a week's time, and by that time you've already forgotten and moved on to your next module.
Yes, true.
All right, so potential salaries. So this is the interesting, exciting part. Potential salaries. So there's a variety of different roles you can go into. You don't have to be a chartered accountant. I've put in management accountant trainee. A lot of students do start as management accountants here in the UK. 25,500 rapidly increases after you've done your 2 years of traineeship, and it rapidly goes up to 40, 50,000, depending on your company. Senior auditor gets 37,500, financial analyst 41,000, then financial accountant 42,000. But the interesting parts are the last two comments. 2 to 4 years after qualification, 56,000. So you can see how much value ACCA is to your future career.
Definitely.
So the small investment that you make in your studies, whether it's after high school coming onto our ACCA program, or after your degree coming into our ACCA program, is massive. So you could take the chance as an international student and after your degree apply for one of the big 4 companies. You might get a graduate scheme.
About that, sorry to interrupt.
Of course.
So how does the student get employment here? So do you help them? Do you have support for them at BPP as well?
Definitely. So our careers team, we've got 2 different careers teams. We've got the overall careers teams where students get access to our careers portal from day one. That includes help with your CVs, your cover letters, interview techniques, also access to a whole lot of jobs, part-time, full-time. But then we've got our business school careers team, which I touched on earlier about the work placement. So the work placement option leads on to after the program ends. We call it the professional development practice program. And throughout the master's degree course, I don't want to say you're getting grilled, but you are pretty much getting grilled because the careers advisors are on you to make sure you're fully prepared for your interviews so that you can get the work placements. And then they're also supporting you for your graduate schemes. So all the graduate schemes are available for students here in the UK.
Oh, that's good.
But that's the very important part about it. I mean, if you're coming to making that investment, come all the way to the UK, you might want to get a taste of what working life is in the UK, and that's the professional development practice.
I think a lot of people would love that, definitely.
Yeah, brilliant. Yeah, exactly. I definitely do. I mean, I wished I had that opportunity, so it's great that students have this opportunity. So the last point, 5 years plus £90,000. So that is a quite a steep rise in salaries. Obviously, this is taking an average, so you could be higher, you could be lower, depending on the type of company you go into, and depending on which sector. So you could be an auditor, you could be a financial manager. It just depends on which area.
Working for FBI.
Yeah. Or the FBI. Yeah. So these are in our external links with the companies that we work with: KPMG, SEMA, Ford, big companies. And when I talk about links, companies that we work with means companies that we send us, they send students to us to study. So we're part of the university is part of a wider professional education group. So we have contracts with these firms where they have to send their graduates over to us to study their ACCA or their CFA or their financial services courses. Okay, so I missed one bit, the faculty profiles. I mentioned earlier professionals, teaching professionals.
So they're from the companies.
Some of the companies that we've hired from recently. PlayStation's the one I like very much.
Oh, wow.
Brand manager, we had a brand manager from PlayStation come over. Obviously, you've got the accounting firms. You've got pretty major companies there, like
P&G
Siemens,
and
American
Unilever
Express.
as well.
Unilever. You think Unilever is wide variety of jobs.
P&G
You don't have to be in an accounting department. You could be in a financial consulting department. You could be in sales department. And there's so many different departments that you could work in. So ACCA and accounting really opens your doors. You don't have to be an accountant in a little room checking off your financial statements.
Yeah.
It's a lot different in the real life. So who are we looking for? Jesse, that's one question that students probably wondering.
Like,
what is the entry requirement? What's the requirement? Can I get in? So ACCA is fairly flexible. Basically, anyone can do it. I mean, if you were studying in Malaysia and you finished your high school, you could go straight into ACCA. They would put you on the FIA, Foundations in Accountancy, do a year and a half, and then go on to ACCA. So it's very open entry requirement. At BPP, we're looking for students with a strong passion in accountancy and finance. That's the initial point. Whilst you may not be looking to be a chartered accountant, you must have a passion for accountancy and finance. Because there's a wider world that you can go into after you've qualified, after you've done your
Why would
training.
you want to study something that you're not passionate about and just drown yourself in it?
Exactly. So
but you get paid loads though.
Yeah, so that is the toss-up, isn't it? I mean, what do you see down the line in 5 years, or what do you see down immediately now? And we do actually get a wide range of students who have done history and decided, okay, I can't really find anything in the employment sector. Friends have gone into accountancy, done really well for themselves. Business, a lot of business students have done degrees and want to specialize in a particular part to make themselves more employable. So there's a wide variety of students that come in. It's not just students who want to be a chartered accountancy. So that's the first point. Have a strong passion for it. Second point, get registered with ACCA. I think it's something like £97. You do not need to be registered with ACCA before you make an application. So you can do that after you've made an application. Once we looked at all your academic documents, your visa history, then we can tell you, okay, go ahead now and make your ACCA application.
Yeah.
But do remember to check your exemptions on the ACCA exemptions calculator. It's a very handy tool. And then the English requirement, which is IELTS 6.5.
6.5. Sorry, our little video was
Our little video is blocking it there. Sorry, it's 6. Sorry,
A 6.
I got confused there. Our master's degrees are 6.5. Our ACCA course is 6.0, no lower than 5.5 in each component.
So the master's is 6.5.
Master's, so if you did a management with finance or you did a MBA, that would be 6.5, no lower than 6 component. We do have pre-sessional English courses, which could combine your CAS. So you don't have to
CAS, so
separate.
you don't have to apply and then reapply again.
Exactly. It saves time, and that we could take students in from IELTS level 5. But I've got a little point down there at the bottom. It's cut off a little bit. It's not just IELTS that we accept. So there's GCSE English, Pearson's academic test, but also we accept a wide range of other overseas qualifications. So if you're in Ghana or Nigeria, the West African WASSCE.
Yeah, the WASSCE.
SSCE,
yes.
yeah. So that's the one we would take C6. If you're from Nigeria or Ghana, we would take C6. Another example would be the Hong Kong DSE. We would take a 3 in English language. In Malaysia, SPM is equivalent to GCSE group English, so that would take a C as well. So that's the general benchmark. So if you're not sure, definitely do contact us directly or contact UKAC. We've got a whole list of overseas qualifications that we would accept. Then lastly, coming on to tuition fees. Now, there's a lot of value. I see a lot of value in these tuition fees. Some students, they're looking and thinking, oh my God, this is really expensive. But again, we have to go back to the slide where what is your future career earnings going to be to cover whatever investment that you're making now. It's an investment in your life, essentially, because you've got like the next 30, 40 years of your life to go into lots of different areas. So the BSc Accounting and Finance is £26,000 for the 3 years or the 2 years. So it's split up by installments. Then the master's, the ACCA course, the master's degree in Accounting and Finance Advanced Diploma route, that's £19,010. To get a CAS, it's £5,400. So that's the initial down payment, as we would call it, the initial deposit. If you wanted to go just for the Advanced Diploma route, which would be just the first 9 papers, that's £8,010. So 3 different options that you could go down. Or of course, if you've got F1 to F9 already, and you don't want to do a master's degree, you can come on to our professional papers, and that's £7,500. But of course, we do want you to come on to our accounting and finance program. It's £11,000 there. For the reason that we mentioned right at the start of this webinar. Employers want students to be ready for when they come into day one. So the digital leadership, data analysis, and business research project, that's going to give you all the skills and experience necessary to be able to come in day one of your job and start producing for your employer. And that will also make you really highly employable. When you're in your interview, you can say, I studied this and this at BPP, so hire me, I'll be good for you.
So you don't even need to train me, I can do everything.
Yeah. Exactly. That's what employers want. They don't want to spend so much money on you, and they want you to produce straight away. So these are the other 2 programs that we were talking about earlier. MSc Management, Finance and Project Management, International MBA. Both 12-month courses. They could be extended to 18 months if you went with the work placement option module.
I think a lot of people are interested in the work placement.
Yeah, definitely. And for these 2 programs, as well as the ACCA course, we definitely would accept if you've already done a master's degree in the UK. So I know quite a lot of international students have done their undergraduate degree back home
Yeah.
and come to the UK. They might have done something in
The same level,
global
level 7.
finance
Yeah.
or business management in a master's degree. And maybe they want to do another master's. They realize that's not quite.
So this is the point where we speak about the second master's.
Second master's, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So we're very happy to accept. So our course director is very happy to accept students who have already a second master's. Already have a first master's degree. Yeah. And he's also very interested in getting students with a wide variety of backgrounds. So I mentioned global finance, I mentioned business management. You don't have to have done business or management to study our MSc management.
Oh,
or
is
MBA.
it? So you don't really have to have a background of finance to get into the second master's?
No, I mean, if we take an example of someone who's working in retail, let's say in Topshop. I don't mean retail Topshop on the floor, but I mean as part of the global business. Maybe you're in sales working with suppliers. Mm-hmm. So you've got your entry-level job and you've worked your way up. How do you progress? How do you take that next step to be the general manager? How do you take the next step to be the CEO? I'm not expecting anyone from Topshop to be replacing a CEO, but a
Why
CEO
not,
of another
right?
company.
Why not?
Yeah, so you do need a degree. So if you've done something in marketing and you need to be training your staff. You need to be able to manage them appropriately. That's where our master's degree comes in. So it doesn't matter which degree you've done, what industry you're in. You're going to need to have these degrees to be able to get that knowledge, to be able to train your staff and manage your staff properly. So that's why we really accept from a wide range of industries and different subject areas.
And the same goes for the international student, isn't it? Because of all the visa's requirements.
Exactly.
Because it's still the same level as in the second master's.
Yeah, not many universities do accept that, but we do. We do here at BPP. So it's in terms of fees, it's £9,500 for the MSc, and £10,500 for the MBA. There's also a further £500 if you paid in full, or if early bird discount.
That's a discount. Yeah. You said it really softly. That's the discount.
£500 full payment or early bird discount. I had to talk louder. Yeah. All right. So
here we go.
I've pretty much come to the end of the webinar, but I thought I'd highlight the different services that we have. Because you get a lot of value. I mean, we looked through the course fees earlier, but you get a lot of value from BPP, not just the personal tutor support. Obviously, the career service you talked about, student associations, really active. You've got lots of different associations now. International student advisors, one thing that international students really need, guidance on visa. Well, of course, UKAC is going to help you at the start. But what happens if there's a problem during your studies? Yeah. That's where our international student advisors come in.
So full support from BPP and also UKEC. We're never going to leave you.
So how to apply? You can contact me directly. There's my details on the screen. But of course, we're here at UKEC today. And I think the next slide is UKEC's details. But
so back to me. Can I
back to you, Jessie.
Can I get the attention back to me now?
Definitely. Yeah. You should have the attention.
Well, thank you, Daryl, so much for sharing all the information. That was very interesting. Oh, clicker. Sorry, guys.
There we are.
Okay. So thank you so much, Daryl, again, for sharing us with all the insights. That was very, very interesting. So if any of you guys are interested to apply or make the application, or you're still not sure but want to know more, feel free to contact us here at UKEC. We're more than happy to help and support you. We will be supporting you throughout the whole journey, from making application, finding you the right accommodation, and also sorting out your visa applications. All you have to do is provide us with the right documents that's required for the applications and of course for your visa. And at this busiest time, this busy period, we can guarantee to get you an offer within 3 days. Provided, of course, you get the right documents to us and you just sit back and relax and wait for your offer. This guarantee from him as well.
Definitely,
Yeah.
definitely. I also like to add, I mean, we've worked with UKC for a long time now. We're very impressed with the support that your team does. The students get thorough support from your applying with your documents, getting your CAS, getting visa advice, accommodation, etc. So we're very impressed with UKC. So definitely, you should
Because we
visit
chase
these
them.
guys.
We call them all the time. Like, can you get my student a CAS, please?
So you mentioned documents. Actually, I should
Yeah.
probably point out the five really main documents.
Okay.
There's a one-page application form from BPP. It's not very long at all. There's a visa history form if you've been in the UK before. Your passport, obviously. Your academic documents. So that could be your highest academic. So that could be if you've done a degree here already, or a master's degree, or your degree back home if you're overseas. And then your IELTS.
Yeah.
So the IELTS is not necessary, of course, if you already have
A GCSE.
a GCSE or a WIEC or HSDC,
A lot-
SPM.
there's
So
a
there's
lot of
lots of
that,
different
yeah.
options. Of course, if you've done a UK foundation or
Professional.
a degree, then you'd be exempted from the English requirement. So possibly four little documents, maybe five, over to UKEC, and
Yeah.
they'll sort the rest out for you.
We will give you a checklist and we'll go through it as well. And yep. So we speak about the guaranteed 3 working days. So that's really quick for an offer. So if you're a last minute student, we don't judge. No one judges you. If you're lastminute.com, just throw your documents at us and we'll figure it out for you. Also, we're available to be contacted by various channels. So you can contact us through Facebook. I'm on Facebook too. A lot of our counselors are on Facebook. And you can leave your details here on YouTube. And alternatively, you can contact us through emails just on the screen, international@ukec.com. And also that's our phone number and that's our website as well. So we're very available to help the students. You can just walk in as well. We're in the same building, as we mentioned, at St. James Squares, Oxford Street, Manchester. Feel free to come over and visit him as well.
Oh, Bertie the bear. We didn't
Yeah,
say hi.
we
with
actually didn't
Bertie the
introduce
lion.
him.
We didn't say hi with Bertie
Yeah, it's
the
not
lion.
bad. It's a lion, isn't it? So, any questions, guys? Let me check. Let's see what we answered. Sorry, we're just gonna use my phone today because we're short of laptops. Right. Can't find the comments. Okay. Yeah, sorry.
Oh, there
Just
we
gonna
are.
get a help from
There we are.
John. Okay. Okay, so can we know more about the career support from BPP in this course?
Oh yeah, definitely. So career support. As I mentioned earlier, we've got careers advisors at our business school specifically for our professional development and practice module. So if you come onto this course, you'll be getting immediate appointments as soon as you apply. I mean, you have to show your CV, and then they're obviously going to fix that up for you because it's probably one of your first ones. Go through your cover letter, go through interview techniques, but more importantly, finding you those interviews to go into your work placement. So it's not just, so for example, if you're doing the accounting program, you don't really have to go into accounting. If you're doing the management program, you don't have to go into a specific business, anything. You can go into media, you can go into fashion. There's a wide variety of companies out there. So it's just depending on what your previous experience are. Maybe you were a part of a student association before in a particular sport, and maybe you want to work in sports. So it just really depends on what your previous experience is, and our career service team will be helping you tailor your search to target those
what
jobs.
you want for your employment. So next question, it's from Lynn. What about your employment rate after accounting courses at BPP? Any chance,
Yeah.
or is there any chance of international student finding a job in the UK?
Any chance
What's
of-
the
yeah.
rate like for international students?
We can't specifically give out a rate. I can tell you it's 87% on students who have been on our PDP course.
87%.
Those are students who have got work placements directly. So it is a valuable investment. In terms of how easy, how hard international students to get a job, I get this question all the time when I'm traveling around the world. It's not easy, but there is a lot of very important points for international students to get on to get a job in the UK. There's so many positives. So your life experience, it gives you a completely different viewpoint. And as global companies, these days, companies in London, companies around the UK, they're global companies. We're talking about KPMG, EY, PwC.
Yeah.
They're not really UK companies anymore. They're in every country in the world, whether it's with partnerships with local companies or their own company based there. So there's a lot of positives for international students to be getting jobs in the UK. You just need to play that up a lot during your interviews, but also specifically targeting the companies that do have sponsorship for international students. So a lot of big companies do already. Now more and more from the last 10 years, more and more mid-sized companies are getting sponsored for international students because they see the value of having a different perspective and also language skills.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, that's very important.
Definitely.
Yeah, you've got clients all over the world, whether it's in China, whether it's in Brazil, whether it's in Mexico. They're very important to have these language skills.
Like Daryl here, he's actually from Malaysia.
From Malaysia. So
and for myself, I'm from Thailand. So yeah, language skill.
So selamat datang.
Sawadika.
Sawadika in Thailand.
Okay,
Brilliant.
sorry. Moving on to the next question. So in case I've already got a master's in finance, can I still apply for your master's in accounting as second master?
Definitely. I mean, it really depends on what was included in the master's in finance specifically. I mean, if it did include the ACCA professional courses, then unfortunately we'd have to see whether we could incorporate you into that because there are compulsory modules as part of the master's degree in accounting and finance. But if it was just pure finance, then yes, definitely you'd be able to come on to our master's degree, provided of course you've done the F1 to F9 ACCA papers. But of course, as we mentioned earlier, the 30 months program is not entirely necessary to start from scratch. You may already have exemptions, so make sure you check out ACCA exemptions calculator. Don't just check your master's degree, but check your undergraduate degree as well. You may already have exemptions, and ACCA will take both into consideration.
And reduce the cost as
well. So you might be studying a year on our master's degree, you might be studying a year and a half, so it just depends.
Okay. Any more questions? Okay, last question. Keep on coming, guys. Any more questions? Investment bank, what's the progress route? Investment bank, what's the progress route?
Investment bank. So investment banks are huge companies. So it could be, you've got a lot of different, you could be in HR, you could be in legal investment bank. But I presume you're talking about trying to become an investment banker or equities trader or bond trader. So that studying ACCA wouldn't be a traditional route going into to become an investment banker. Pure finance would be a traditional route.
That's what she also
engineering
asked.
also seems to be a route that banks seem to like. They seem to like the thought process of engineers. However, I mentioned this a lot earlier in the presentation. If you wanted to be a financial trader, you are betting. But what do you have to do at the end of the day? You've got to compile a list of all your accounts, all the stocks that you've bought, all the stocks that you've sold. So there's the counting part going into it. So you will be a step ahead of all your peers in the investment bank if you are having already studied an accountancy related degree. And when you're in university, you're thinking, what am I going to do next year? What am I going to do the year after? But maybe you should be thinking, what am I going to be doing in 5 years, 10 years, 20 years? you're not going to be a trader your whole life. You're not going to be a junior trader your whole life. You're not going to be an investment banker your whole life. You want to go up, step up the ladder, become the manager, become the CEO, become the CFO, and these are the steps that you need to take, and where your knowledge comes back all the way back to ACCA, which is where a lot of CFOs have qualifications. A lot of CFO are accountants, obviously. So that's a good route to do if you are interested to go down investment banking.
Right. So last question, apart from ACCA, any other qualification student may want to take from BPP?
Yeah, so we have at our university, we have our master's degree in management and finance. We have our master's degree in management with project management. That is a very popular degree at the moment. Project management, a lot of skills needed in modern day business involves projects, different projects running at the same time. You could say this webinar is one project. So you're running one project at the moment. You've got a few other students going on that you're taking care of. It's two different projects. So these are skills that you need to learn. You're obviously very good at it. You're doing your job. But how could you progress in your career? So having this master's degree in project management will greatly help. And then of course we've got our international MBA degree for students who want to really accelerate their career. So that's for students who are maybe already been working a few years and they're looking to really accelerate their career growth. Apart from the School of Business, we've obviously got the Law School, School of Nursing, and School of Health. So we've got quite a few different other schools, different programs. You can check that out on our website.
Yeah. Any more questions, guys? Because if you have any more questions, feel free to contact us or contact Daryl. Contact details are on the screen right now, so there you go. And we'll see you next time, if there's no more questions. Yeah? Thank you so much for joining us today, and thank you so much, Daryl, for coming over. And see ya!
Thanks, Jessie. Thanks, Casey. Bye, guys!